morning. It's another lovely Monday morning right here on TV47, 17th of August. Mwezi pia inakimbia sijui tunakimbia tukienda wapi. Yeah. We continue with the election countdown. Some 300 and what?
350 something, 59, 58.
Days to the elections.
Yeah.
Kidogo tayeka hapo chini. You'll be seeing it.
358.
Yes. Welcome to TV47 Breakfast. Karibu sana. My name is Freddy Ndimuli. A lot of talking points, especially around political violence. What happened in
Homa Bay.
I'm told people are using boats. Ndo wafike mahali wanaenda.
Yes.
Alafu, now something interesting happened. Sababu watu they had to use some funny roads. Now the discussion turned into, Ugavana amekuwa akifanya nini? Hakuna barabara bwana.
Yes. Homa Bay inakaa Afghanistan.
Wanaita Yemen.
Homa Bay is looking very bad, to be very honest.
If you've been to Homa Bay town, it looks very nice in town.
Yes.
Tarmac roads everywhere, up to the very end.
Yeah.
Kumbe hii ni kuficha tu anaficha.
Actually grew up in Homa Bay kidogo. Yeah, my aunt lives there, but Homa Bay looks very, very, very bad. You know what happened yesterday? Sasa hiyo rally katuonyesha what is happening, you know, behind the scenes.
Please, musikubali jina Yemen, musikubali Homa Bay. You can do better.
Afghanistan. My name is Annie Odida. Karibuni sana to TV47 Breakfast. It's a new week and we are going to be glad and rejoice in it. Zambia's election ended and they are expecting their results today.
Mambo inakaa namna gani?
Ichilema, I hear imekuwa one term.
Amekuwa one term.
Rumors. But tutajua by the end of the day today. Tutajua, but so far what I saw is that amekuwa one term.
Anyway, watu wa Zambia washaongea. Some other news. Watu walikuwa nasema vikombe ati the shells at Arsenal are empty. Sasa zinakuja hivi.
Yeah.
Mutati.
Community what?
Community Shield winners.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how you kickstart the new English Premier League title race. Nakwambia leo. Is this one? Mutati. Kwanza wale watu wa Manchester huko ushago.
Yeah.
Unajua hiyo ni ile ushago ya huko UK. Huko wacha disclaimer. Unajua our director today is a Man U fan and we respect him and we don't want to start his Monday like that. But it is what it is. Yeah, tuseme nini? Tuseme kitu. Yeah.
It's a very cold morning as well in Nairobi. It's drizzling. I don't know how it's looking like where you are, but we'll be taking a look at that any minute from now.
Wacha nifurahishe director. It's 130 days to Christmas.
130?
Days.
It's 130?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Christmas is around the corner.
Another countdown.
Yeah. Something to look forward to.
I know Emmanuel, our director, is now smiling.
Yeah. You know, somebody said the beauty of life, how to make life beautiful is to always have something that you're looking forward to.
Yes, yeah.
So Christmas is around.
If my news is not doing it for you, Christmas can.
All right, tell us about Vibe 47. Right now, you know, we are not only live on TV, right? So unaweza tembea na TV47.
All right, yes, you can catch us live on our brand new digital platform, Vibe 47, available online and on your phone. You can download it via the Play Store and App Store. Vibe 47 will feature entertainment, lifestyle, news, current affairs, and original shows, all tailored for you whenever and wherever. It places strong emphasis on Kenyan voices and everyday experiences while opening new opportunities for creators and emerging talent. Yes. Mambo ni vulai huku.
Mambo ni vulai.
Unaweka tu kwa simu yako, unapata radio, TV, kila kitu digital, all on your phone, just like that.
Yes, your favorites unawapata hapo anytime you
Kama unapenda Ani, unampata. Angalia sasa kama saa hii tuko hapo tayari. Imagine that's someone watching us on Vibe 47 already, just like that.
Wow.
Impressive.
Wapi kwingine tena?
Mambo ingine, beginning today, 7:30.
Yeah. And it's free. That's the cherry on top.
Oh yes, this is free, totally free. Sio lazima ulipe. Vibe 47.
All right. So that is the update we have for you this morning.
You can see something else there.
Yes.
Mezesha. Now this is a new show, a new telenovela. Mambo ya mapenzi ya hapa.
Yes.
Ya hapa nyumbani, you know. Starting today at 7:30 p.m. Make a date. This one nakwambia, it has all the top actors.
Yes. Mapenzi the Kenyan way.
Yeah, the Kenyan way.
Yes, sio K-drama, Kenyan way.
Kenyan way.
Yes.
Lakini ukisema Kenya ndio mapenzi unajua inakuanga vile inakuanga. Hapana, this one is a good.
Hakuna reminds me of the Confessions of Nairobi Men, that book. I don't know if you read it, by Joan Thatia. Inasema venye Nairobi Men mko. So catch Mezesha.
7:30 to beginning tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that's the update that we have for you. Let's see the promo, a snippet of what you have in store for you tonight.
Well, that one I have to watch.
Yes.
I can see some actors who've been there for quite a while. Yeah, very respectable actors, and I'll have to make a date. So should you. 7:30 tonight, only on TV47. This is a TV47 Cape Studios original.
Right.
Yeah. Hakuna kukopi.
Story yetu hiyo.
Yeah.
Na story ni yako pia wewe. Let's see how the weather's looking like this morning. It's a mostly sunny day in Kilifi County today. 24 degrees this morning, highs of 28 degrees today in Homa County. There is scattered thunderstorms today. 19 degrees this morning, highs of 29 degrees. Light rains in Kiambu County. We are in Kiambu County, and indeed it's raining. 15 degrees this morning, highs of 21 degrees. Kisii County, rains expected there, it's raining this morning in Kisii, 17 degrees this morning, highs of 27 degrees. A cloudy day in Kilifi, or Kitui rather, 17 degrees this morning, highs of 25 degrees. And finally Nairobi, a cloudy day today, 16 degrees this morning, highs of 22 degrees. And that's the state of the weather.
Homa Bay, they have scattered thunderstorms. Ile vumbi ilikuwa jana, they really need it.
Yes.
At least barabara za Yemen zipungue vumbi. Anyway, let's try and get some inspiration this morning. Let's get the quote of the day.
Always do your best. What you plant now, you will harvest later.
Triumphant is a big one on the front page of the Standard. This one, despite the dust, despite the use of boats, goons, stones, nene, walifika. So that was, for the people who organized that, which is something shameful. It is a political season. I believe everyone who has any political interest should be allowed to venture into any part of this country. Anywhere. Yeah. So whoever did this, and some of them spoke na wakajulikana, they still failed because these people are triumphant and they made entry. Unaona hapo juu ya gari wakidance. The dusty and forceful entry into Homa Bay. Okay, they captured the dust. They need those scattered thunderstorms today. Unstoppable, they say. Hostile attacks by goons wielding crude weapons, barricaded roads and when burning tires disrupted the Linda Mwananchi Brigade's tour of Homa Bay yesterday, as political tensions in the region remained high. Now, for much of the day, the Edwin Sifuna-led team boldly resisted the traps, choosing to navigate through terrain to reach designated rally venues where they addressed hundreds of supporters as violence threatened to overshadow the political tour. Meanwhile, calls for the arrest of Homa Bay MP Peter Kaluma, they even mentioned his name, over alleged inflammatory remarks remained unanswered by the NCIC, DPP and DCI, raising fresh questions over selective enforcement of the law and the government's handling of political violence. I'm not saying, or we are not saying that any other person asishikwe. Tunasema makosa ni makosa.
Makosa ni makosa.
Kama ule mwingine alifanya makosa akalala, ikabidi alale kwa mezani ya wenyewe hadi asubuhi. Na akalala Kamukunji police station for a second night. Akapelekwa kotini. That is the same treatment for everyone who engages in this kind of incitement. We believe, and as it should be. Is it unfair to expect that of the NCIC or DCI? Yeah, anyone mwenye amekuwa captured akisema sijui mutafanya nini sijui, because the threats were, these were threats issued directly to people in Homa Bay that if you do this, we will do this. That's a threat.
We'll deal with you.
Yeah, and that's against the electoral laws. So that is a crime. And we demand that if at all he said that, he should be arrested.
If at all he said that, he did say that.
Then he should be arrested.
Record.
Yes. So the front page says triumphant and the back page shameful. Hakuna hata sports hapo nyuma. Shameful. The goons that were used. So that's a standard, a very stinging criticism of what happened. Linda Mwananchi breaks through Homa Bay barriers to hold rallies is a big question there. Big story there on page 2. Gachagua accuses Ruto of condoning political goonism. So are we seeing a return of this kind of violence? We had hoped that after the 1-2 arrests that were made, things would cool off. Shame as Gladys Wanga, Kaluma unleashed violence against freedom. That's on page 4. And this was on the road to elections coverage. Animal Farm, they ask leaders decry selective fight on incitement. They've actually done a lot of coverage. Dedicated acres and acres of coverage to this story. Pages 2, 4, and 6. Yeah. How Ruto blows billions hosting delegations is on page 7. Those are the most interesting stories in as far as politics is concerned. What next? Second-term governors face political gamble ahead of polls is another story. Kiangalia sports ni kama hawana wamesema ni it's shameful. That's the standard today.
Right. Tuangalie gazeti la Taifa Leo. Sifuna atikisa ngome ya Wanga. Makabiliano makali ya kisiasa yaliyoshuhudiwa Jumapili katika kaunti ya Homa Bay yamefichua vita vinavyozidi kushika kasi vya kutaka kudhibiti ngome ya kisiasa ya marehemu Raila Odinga, huku makundi hasimu yakijiandaa kwa uchaguzi mkuu wa mwaka ujao. Vuguvugu la Linda Mwananchi ilikaidi vizuizi vya barabarani, uvamizi na hatimaye kuandaa mikutano Nyandiwa, Sindo na Homa Bay mjini. And that is Homa Bay Township, ambapo Peter Kaluma anatoka huko with his inflammatory remarks.
Is MP Homa Bay Town?
Yeah, Homa Bay Town.
Town kuna tamak.
Town kuna kwanza walise literally
Homa Bay Town there's tarmac. There's tarmac at least up to the end of that road. Unajua ukifika hapo mwisho wa barabara unaona Lake Victoria. Hapo kuna tarmac.
Very shameful.
Kumbe huko nyuma hakuna kitu.
Hakuna kitu, wanaficha white, lakini Linda Mwananchi kasema we are going to show the country what you guys are hiding here.
And you've been an MP forever. Ayo, acha mambo yako wewe.
Mwenyekiti wa ODM Gladys Wanga anakabiliwa na kibarua kulinda ngome ya jadi ya Raila Odinga. Kalonzo ataka Omolo ajiuzulu. Kinara wa Wiper asema katibu wa usalama ameshindwa kuzima magenge ya kisiasa. Ni habari katika ukurasa wa 3. Pendekezo wenyeji vyuo vya KMTC watengewe nafasi. Hiyo ni habari nyingine. Barabara za mabilioni vilivyokuza biashara. Anasema kwamba ujenzi wa barabara nchini umechochea uchumi. Kule juu, Joho aponea kesi ya uadilifu, kwamba ni afueni kesi iliyotaka waziri huyo atangazwe kama asiyefaa kushikilia wadhifa wa umma ikitupwa. On the back page, ngao ya Arsenal. Right. Arsenal waliibuka mabingwa wa ngao ya jamii baada ya kuichapa Manchester City 3-0 katika dimba lililosakatwa Millennium.
What happened to Manchester City?
Tuliwasakata. Hiyo ndio that's what happened to them. Tuliwasakata. Hata kama ni ya chai ni yetu.
Watu walikuwa nasema ati ni sahani ya kukula wali.
Bado ni yetu.
Sawa tu. It's silverware either way.
Yeah, Taifa Leo.
Daily Nation, battle for Raila's staff. That's a big story, just like on the front page of Taifa Leo. Defiance, the Linda Mwananchi Brigade led by Senator Sifuna defied goon attacks and road barricades to storm Homa Bay Town for the breakaway ODM faction's inaugural rally in the county. Question I'm asking is, have these goons ever stopped anyone? Even in Keumbu, when they tried to stop these people, they still made it to the rally. So you wonder, okay, what is the success rate of these goons? Kazi yao, wakienda appraisal, wanaambiwa wamefanya kazi kiasi gani?
Kuna hadi appraisal ya goonism. Failures.
Fail. Yes. So it's a zero-sum game because even in Homa Bay, mtu amejiaibisha kidogo, pengine atapelekwa hata kotini. You know, you just embarrass yourself in front of the whole country. We now see you have no roads, and then the rally still happened. Surely, wewe success rate yako ni nini kama mbunge?
And do you think these goons would learn from, other counties where developments, inaendelea?
You see, for the goons, they earned their money for the day.
Ngapi? The question is how much? Labda even it's even 2,000. What will 2,000 do
2,000. Hiyo kitu hata kufikisha 500 ni ngumu sana.
500, what will that do for you in this economy?
And the rally still went on. And the MP and the other leaders embarrassed themselves because now we saw their nakedness. About how beautiful their barabaras huko nyuma zinaka. Zero-sum games.
Their Yemen looks like.
You see, we should just allow these people to come there, make their noise, leave. Yeah. Perhaps people would not even be talking about them. They would not be on the front page today.
And they pulled masses.
Anyway, other quick highlights here. Housing levy, defaulters face bank accounts, PIN freezes. So there's a new law giving KRA enforcement powers as authorities crack down on those failing to pay the statutory levy meant to fund the government's affordable housing program. Utakuwa unaenda kufungua account unapata it's frozen. Ukienda PIN. Now you know without your PIN, KRA PIN, you can't access any service on eCitizen. There's so much you can't access. Kwa nini? Sababu ya kosa kulipa statutory housing levy. Looming Nairobi chaos as City Hall staff strike. That's on page 12. So Kanjo anaenda strike, but can they survive? Naona Kanjo akienda strike. And the way they make money on city roads. Nimesema tu kweli na mnajua. Ati wakae nyumbani wakose kuenda kazi. Hiyo ni uongo hiyo. Union warned that Nairobi County employees could stop reporting to work if they were not paid by the end of last week. Wiki mpya imeingia, if they're not paid, probably they'll go on strike. All right. Why Kenyan courts are releasing foreign drug traffickers early is a story on page 3. Convicts secure early freedom if found to have undergone rehabilitation and maintained discipline while in prison. Unaenda tu unakuwa disciplined unaachiliwa. Na ulikuwa unauza madawa ya kulevya. More stories about what happened in Homa Bay, but there's a story here, and this focuses on the other people who suffered. And these are journalists. Outrage over brazen attack on journalists in Homa Bay rally. Yeah, there's a Nation's Odhiambo and AFP's Oko and Ongoro faced a brutal hostility. Yeah. So why do people attack journalists, by the way? I don't understand. Ni wivu, ni makasiriko, ni nini? Jamaa tu anapiga picha, wewe unakasirika, unasikia. Anyway, Kenya mnanifurahishanga saa nyingine hata kama umelipwa. Yeah. All right. So those are just some of the top stories. Yes, this story about the levy, it's on page 8. Yeah. And they're quoting the Housing and Urban Development Principal Secretary Charles Hinga. Workers, traders, employers who fail to remit the affordable housing levy face same enforcement measures used against tax defaulters. PIN inakuwa frozen. Alafu unasema, there's a very beautiful story on page 10 about the roads that cost Kenya billions. You can look and see if at all one of your roads is there and how much it costs. On the back page, the big one. Gunners make big statement with Community Shield big win over a small city. Citizens showed only flashes of the attacking threat in premiership season's curtain raiser. Another cup. This one is not a cup. This is a shield. It's a trophy nonetheless. Arsenal maintained a 100% win record over Manchester City with an emphatic performance at Principality Stadium where Calafiori, Havertz, Odegaard scored 3-0 to Arsenal. Congratulations to the Gunners. That's a Daily Nation. All
right, there's a story you've left out still on the front page, and it's on page 2. Teachers protest TSC social media gag. The teachers, wants employer to distinguish between legitimate use and online misconduct that warrants punishment. Right.
You saw that story?
Yes. Now you understand how important this is.
That's about the girl who looking at the president's son and saying...
well, they didn't really mention her. But, yeah.
No, she was a girl who's a teacher.
Yeah.
Alienda social media akasema, huyu kijana wa rais anakaa anaweza.
Shida iko wapi? So, hakuna shida hapo wewe. The Teacher Service Commission has been urged to clarify its directive on teachers' use of social media to ensure it does not unfairly target those with a visible online presence. Yeah, so NAT wanataka TSC clarify, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't want us to use social media?
So these teachers who are active, especially on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, and some of them give advice. Some of them talk about life, but they're teachers. Some of them talk about their students and how their lives are as teachers. Now TSC is not comfortable with that.
Some are also looking for love.
As they should.
Yeah. You know, teachers, kitambo ni kio, I don't know if they still are, kio cha jamii. So whatever you do on social media.
Teachers used to marry teachers. Sana kama wanaambiwa hivyo, nyinyi mkienda kwingine mnaonekana na watu wengine, rudini.
Wewe ndio uoe colleague.
But anyway, that's a serious story. Teacher Service Commission needs to clarify on. All right.
Let's take a look at the People Daily now. 2027, the violent rehearsal. It's on page 4. How Kenya's campaigns are exposing the violence, intimidation, and political muscle that could shape the next general election. All right, People and Politics, that's the main story on the front page. On the top strip, brother against brother. Inside the resurgence of the country's political intolerance. Brother against brother. By the way, this is what was happening in Homa Bay.
Because they're just fighting their own. I've seen a tweet here. Allow me just to go through it, by Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi, senior counsel. And he says the Gunism we saw in Homa Bay can only mean one thing. It is time for a radical change to the political leadership in the Internal Security Ministry. I think the time for PS Dr. Raymond Omolo, who comes from Homa Bay, and CS Murkomen needs serious reflection and new strategy as we approach 2027. He tweeted this about 30 minutes ago, and I agree with him. Because Murkomen, the CS, and this PS know, and they even give an assurance. The PS actually gave an assurance that nothing like that would happen. Then it happened in broad daylight and days, anyway. Over to you, Dr. Raymond Omolo.
Over to you. All right, there's a story here, still on the People Daily, hapo juu on the top strip. I think I've lost it, but it's quite interesting. Here it is. Why Ruto could become a lame duck president. That is a story on page 8, and that's the People Daily.
All right. From the People Daily, we take a look at the Star. Fresh, independent, different. But this time they're not so different. At least they show what happened in Homa Bay. Say attempts by suspected goons to disrupt rally thwarted, and they use an image there of the Linda Mwananchi team interacting with the residents of Homa Bay yesterday. And they say, we made it. Linda Mwananchi, led by Senator Sifuna and Embakasi East MP Babu Wino in Nyandewa, Homa Bay County yesterday. But the main story is not that. It's about cheap spirits boom inside Kenya's fake alcohol business. There's a foreigner who went on social media akasema, the quality of alcohol in Kenya, ukienda Kenya usikunywe pombe. But I've seen some other people coming to Kenya to sample locally produced alcohol. It is indeed true that's a big problem. Many people who enjoy the tipple get poisoned. Some of them even die because of some cheap spirits that are not supposed to be for human consumption. So it's a 203 billion shilling shadow market. It's threatening lives, taxes, and legit business. This is covered extensively on pages 4 and 5. And they have a breakdown of the total illicit market value in 2024 of that market is 203 billion shillings. Annual government revenue loss, 120 billion. So it means if the government was to crack down on this, they would earn 120 billion. Yeah? So it's value for the government to actually crack down on this. I do not know why government appears reluctant, especially, even that when going to a provincial administration. Chiefs, DOs, DCs, they know where, county commandants, they know where these things happen.
The dens.
Yeah, but they don't, some of them are actually big industries and manufacture very lethal spirits.
Maybe they're benefiting from that.
Yes.
Wakienda pale wanapewa kitu kidogo and then wana.
Annual alcohol-related fatalities, 14,000 plus. Illicit share of total alcohol volume. It means that there's more illicit alcohol in Kenya at 60% than legit alcohol. Kwa hivyo watu kiringa hapo ati unakunywa expensive liquor, pole sana. Yako ni bure kabisa. So those are two main stories. Front page, naona hapa kuna jamaa amepata jiko. Wajir court keeps abandoned child with foster mom. That's a nice interesting story on page 2 about adoption and child abandonment. Yes. And on the back page, Mata Sports, local sports. Pamzo's big dream, this is APS Bomet. Coach Omolo keen to land Sport Pesa League title in 3 years. Tunangoja the league ianze pia hapa nyumbani. Those are the main stories on the Star as well. Fresh, independent, different. You can grab yourself a copy of the Star today for 60 bob.
Very quickly, Business Daily, the Competition Authority of Kenya's 15 billion shillings demand blocks DGO's EABL stale. Watchdog wants reserve to settle EABL liabilities, and Brewer accuses regulator of assuming court powers. That story is on page 2. Housing levy defaulters face spin and bank account freezes. We've talked about that, and that's the Business Daily.
Right, from the Business Daily, we go straight to Uganda, and we start off with the Daily Monitor. The main story on the Daily Monitor: 20 years of waiting for oil. Since 2006 to this year, for 2 decades, Uganda has watched, waited, and wondered. From seismic work across the Albertine Graben to contracts signed, delayed, and signed again, oil has been the promise just over the horizon. With pipeline taking shape and fast oil in sight, the country that has lived in the idea of oil is preparing to live on the oil itself. Then they're lucky they waited for 20 years. You know, in Kenya we had the tallow oil. Hata sisi tunangoja tu. And then there's a gentleman here, Alex Mukulu. I think he's a big guy huko. He's a maestro. Alex Mukulu has died at the age of 72. That's the main story there. Teacher transfer, government tightens rules. That's the story on the New Vision. And President Yoweri Museveni with his grandchild who qualified, alienda ile Sandhurst Military School in UK. In Tanzania, The Citizen. Fuel farms battle as market shares shift. Matters of oil on the front page. And on the Mwananchi, gazeti la Mwananchi, habari kuu ni jinamizi la upigaji biashara ya simu. I think this is online business. Haya ndio machungu wanayokutana nayo wanunuzi, siri bidhaa za zamani kufungashwa kwenye maboksi mapya na kuuzwa. Kamanda Muliro atoa onyo dar. I'm sure you've seen this even in Kenya. Online, when you buy things online. Inakuja tu ukifungua hiyo box, we uchungu. Aha. Na machungu kusubiri huduma ya afya kwa miaka 10 kule Singida, ni hospitali ambayo bado wanaendelea kuiunda. Haya masuala habari zilizopewa kipaumbele kule Bongo, kwingineko Uganda na hata Kenya tumeangazia magazeti, lakini sasa turejelee nyumbani tuangazie Karakacha. Tunaanza na the cartoon on the inside pages of the Star, and it has a president, a caricature of the current president with a lot of money on a wheelbarrow. Yeah, and a picture of his predecessor with a lot of money in a briefcase. But now the current one says, what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. Nasema hiyo pesa yako unatumia sana kwa siasa. Ni kama yeye atumii. Lakini hiyo ni siasa yao. That's a Star.
All right, People Daily Star no stake. Right, there's a caricature here of the Treasury CS akiwa ndani ya ile chupa ambayo alisema the economy is doing wonderfully because you guys are apparently drinking a lot of soda. So he's inside
Soda economy.
a bottle of soda, yeah, bottle up economy, and the opposition leaders are here saying this is now a soda drinking nation.
Yeah.
Kama ukunywi soda.
Is it a coincidence that this CS comes from Homa Bay? Tuache you. Okay. Let's take a look at the cartoon on the Standard. So, talking about political parties. According to the Register of Political Parties, there are over 90 parties already registered and have complied. There are 34 more that have applied to be registered. They're still going through the motions. So, probably by the time we get to elections, we might have upwards of 130 parties, some of them briefcases. So the briefcase parties have been caricatured here as ladies of the night. Wako lusi hivi, wako pale Shoinange. Alafu hapa party bigwig wa hizi party kubwa kubwa anaambiwa you have the option of either buying me out of this street altogether or we become coalition partners. Briefcase parties huwa wana benefit sana towards elections. Yeah.
You said Shoinange? Okoinange?
Wewe sijui ni vile wameandika na vile mimi nimesoma. Mimi sijui ni wapi.
Really? Coin ya coins. Coin.
Oh, mimi naona kama ni Shoinange but anyway.
Okay, you get the gist though. The one on the Daily Nation talks about the cost of living squeeze, right? I think this is a 20 shillings coin. How that is the kind of income that Kenyans are getting, but every other thing, education, food, housing, data, fuel, kila mtu anataka something from this income.
Na ukikosa kulipa housing wanafinya pin.
That's the caricature in the Daily Nation.
All right, just before we take a break, let's take a look at the traffic situation on the major roads in Nairobi. All right, this is how the roads are looking. I can see Pangani Interchange building up slowly, and this is extending as far back as Survey. That's on Thika Road. Nothing else much to report on that road. It's much fairer today. Eastern Bypass building up at area sections around Utawala and that area next to the KQ headquarters. Other than that, Jogoo Road is looking good today. Just building up at Makadara and at City Stadium roundabout. Okay, those using Mudhuru are getting into town. There's a bit of traffic before you get to the Landis Road roundabout. It's getting busy there, and it's affecting a lot of, I think there's a lot of travel today, and this has affected areas around Marikiti, Railways roundabout on both sides of Haile Selassie Avenue. Looking at Mombasa Road all the way from the airport, it's smooth this morning, mostly because we are getting what is happening kwa ile fast flow expressway. Wale huko chini kunaendaje? Wayaki Way is looking good all the way from Oguga coming into town. It's looking green today. A bit of traffic on these roads, other roads on the western side of the city as you get closer to the CBD, especially on Ngong Road. There's a bit of traffic as you get to Kenyatta Avenue. But further afield, Kule Juu, Ngong Road is not so bad today. That's the traffic situation this morning. Once again, we want to introduce to you Vibe 47 for all your content this morning from TV47, Radio 47. You can download it on your phone. It's totally free. It's an app. Yeah, iko na kila kitu. You just watch on your phone, and you can even store some of that. Yeah.
And a Play Store and an App Store. You'll find Vibe 47 there.
Vibe 47. It's a vibe, I'm telling you. Ebu just try, you'll see. And later on tonight, make a date with TV47 at 7:30. Mezesha. Itakuwa ni mezesha.
Itamezesha kweli kweli.
Love Kenyan style. At TV47 Cape Studios original.
All right. And the State of the Nation?
State of the Nation. Coming up after the break, Mesha Kode, the political commentator, will be here with us alongside Felicity Nkirota Biriri, who's an aspirant for the women rep seat in Meru County, and Professor Fred Ogola, a governance and economics expert. Do stand by for that conversation as we discuss what's on the front pages after the break.
Later on, Fred Arocho and Katela Macy will be here for the weekend sports, but meanwhile, do interact with us through our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X, it's TV47 Digital. You can tag us. My handle is at Annie_Dida.
Mine is at Freddy Ndemoli.
Use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast, hashtag Story Yetu. We'll see you after the break.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Nikikunyuma.
Oh my God. He left me.
Nitumie ni line. Uko nje kuna Wi-Fi.
Why? Hi-Fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero umeka kwa beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah! We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in East and Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that. Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair.
It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Booyah! We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
This is a very serious place.
I see that. Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair.
It was hers.
You're new here?
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business. Na leo mkorada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona, hii ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwa commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Nipatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho ya kesho ya tomorrow.
Your turn.
Mzee ni budi nikamchoka. Ni budi ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m.
You have to be very careful. Fake money can kill business. Na leo mkorada yangu.
Small money, kapesa kadogo, big behavior.
I only have big notes.
Alikuwa anatafuta courage.
Yani nafaje kutengeneza kachumbari na manyanya zinakaa hivi? Ona, hii ni kama kiwaru.
Hiyo inaitwa commitment to the lie. Amejicommit.
Ndio hiyo. Nipatie.
Unajua kama una mtu kitu, hata tu salamu ya kawaida inakaa kama reminder.
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho ya kesho ya tomorrow.
Your turn.
Mzee ni budi nikamchoka. Ni budi ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m.
As rival groups engage in running battles, disrupting business and movement within the central business district, several roads leading into the town were reportedly blocked by groups of youths, forcing businesses to close as the confrontation escalated. Journalists covering the political activities were among those reportedly assaulted amid the chaos. The confrontation came after the Linda Mwananchi team raised concerns over an alleged plot to disrupt its rally in Homa Bay. Despite the tension, the delegation led by Siaya Governor James Orengo, Babu Owino and Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna continued with its rallies across the county.
Homa Bay ndio ODM, ndio bedroom ya broad base. Hapa ndio party inapiga tolo. Tuko hapa nje kulinda vitu zetu. Sisi hatuna ugomvi na mtu. Na tumeamua kama vijana tutalinda party yetu ya ODM na broad base as a whole. Kama watu wa Homa Bay, sisi tunalinda ground. Juu wale wanasema sisi wale wanalinda wananchi.
Amnesty International Kenya has condemned the reported attacks, disruption of media broadcast, destruction of property, unlawful road blockades, and acts of violence associated with political activities in Homa Bay. The rights organization says it was particularly alarmed by reports that hired mobs targeted accommodation facilities, allegedly hosting Linda Mwananchi leaders or their supporters. It has also raised concerns over allegations that police and other security agencies failed to take timely action to prevent the violence and protect those affected. Amnesty International is now calling for prompt, independent and transparent investigations into the reported incidents. The organization is further demanding an independent review of the conduct of security agencies during the clashes, warning that accountability will be critical in restoring public confidence and preventing a repeat of the violence. The Kenya Editors Guild has also condemned the reported assault on Kisumu-based AFC journalists Fred Oko and Brian Ongoro in Homa Bay town while covering Linda Mwananchi rally. Reports indicate the journalists were assaulted by a group of armed youths while covering the tense situation in Homa Bay. The attackers reportedly made away with their press cards, driving licenses, cameras and other personal belongings. The People's Liberation Party PLP leader Martha Karua has accused President William Ruto of using goons to suppress opposition and settle political scores, urging him to leave office if he has lost the support of Kenyans. The incidents in Homa Bay come as political mobilization gathers pace ahead of the 2027 general election, with the Linda Mwananchi movement positioning itself as a new political force.
Yes, indeed. The focus on Homa Bay this past weekend and the events that transpired there yesterday as Linda Mwananchi rallies took place. Reports indicate that armed youth stormed at least one hotel in Homa Bay, shattered windows, looted items, destroyed property, and searched for suspected Linda Mwananchi supporters who were guests at the hotel, forcing people to flee. Now, it would appear things are getting worse. Destruction of property, roads within the town were barricaded, and as my colleague Kirobi reported, there were journalists who were injured and their equipment taken away. Even as we continue discussing this, there have been accusations against some politicians of inciting this level of violence in Homa Bay. And one of them is said to have expressed himself and issued instructions. This is Homa Bay Town MP Peter Kaluma, and this is what he had to say prior to the events.
Because from today, kocha koregi sani, wachiwo command, kawariwo rekodu kaka tuonde dalawa. Ingata ngata mawacho ni one time, ukal kode. Ine iwaka kata indereba setiyo tich makocha ineno kateko kinya chiedho kodwa chiedho mar rito luor mar thurwa lale timang'o yoda konga miluongo ni Gachagua. Sama wantieni wasechiwo direction hotel kotel ot ka ot mane gisechako bute wadhi chako go pexel kochakore sa oringa wani hotel ahinya Homa Bay Town constituency ka nyaki ng'e maler jomoni ni hoteli jo biro kalo gi ng'ano to tende no be wanya kalo go. So we are very serious. Yodala wa uwinja kora lungu mondo kochakore sani kawa wuok ka setieko wach gi jotendugi fuel muri gogo kawuono te ungo. ng'wech dhi Imbo, ng'wech dhi Rodi, ng'wech dhi Homa Bay. Wawacho ni chama wa en ODM. Wawacho ni mrengo waduoko President Ruto tuta. Akamukali medungini ji.
Yes, indeed. Article 39 of the Constitution gives every person the right to move freely, leave the country, and allow citizens to enter, stay, and live anywhere inside Kenya. The expectation is, even in a politically charged environment, that any Kenyan can campaign in any part of this country, as it should be. Exactly 358 days to the next general election. This is a situation. Allow me to welcome my panelists this morning. Beginning on my immediate right, Felicity Nkirota Biriri, who's an aspirant for the woman rep seat, Meru County. Karibu sana, Felicity.
Thank you.
Also with us this morning is Professor Fred Ogola. He's a co-director Macmillan Medical. He's also an expert in matters governance and economics. Karibu sana, Prof.
Thank you, Fred.
And Mesha Kodede, a political commentator. It's a level of political intolerance that we're seeing as we get even closer towards the election, because now we're seeing destruction of property. People told that we will come for you if you do one or two things. This is not the first incident. We saw another one a few weeks back, and you can see that it's very easy to switch to vernacular and issue threats. And do you think the authorities are acting right to contain the growing trend that we're seeing?
Thank you very much, and good morning. The authorities are not acting right. Because we watched previously the police watching goons as the goons take over the city. That's where it started during the Gen Z protests. It has been spreading around the country. Some of us have experienced this. We've had roads blocked so that we are not able to access venues where we have organized for meetings. But the beauty is the standard or the headline. That headline is beautiful because when you know, triumphant, because triumph means that we overcame the challenge and we shall keep overcoming the challenges and we will triumph up to the end. Because the more they block, the more Kenyans become more determined to exercise their right to be able to move around this country freely. Yes. To say what they want to say, as long as they say it responsibly.
The politicians may have triumphed, but some business people are suffering in Homa Bay. Their property destroyed simply because people felt that they accommodated people they shouldn't.
That is true. No, not accommodated people that they shouldn't. Because why would you build a hotel? You're building a hotel for customers, whether they are from local. In fact, we've been encouraging local tourism. We've been saying that, you know, you need to move from Mombasa and go to Kisumu and, you know, use the facilities there so that the investors in Kisumu can also enjoy increased turnovers. So they did not do anything wrong by hosting anybody. The problem is the people who come to attack people who are checked into a hotel and just being where they should be. Okay. Because we have the freedom of movement, yes, freedom of speech, and freedom of association. Yeah. It is the law, the rule of law, that is sadly taking a nosedive. Because you wonder, where was the police, where were the law agencies to protect these people?
Right.
Yes.
Professor Fred Ogola, this, whatever happened in Homa Bay, it took place only 2 days after PS Raymond Omolo gave an assurance that there would be enough security to ensure that the Linda Mwananchi rallies take place in Homa Bay undeterred. Because we're focusing on the authorities that should be able to contain this, does it mean that his word no longer counts for anything?
Fred, it's not just PS Omolo's words. It's also the president's words. Well, we are with you on studio. When the president says that he's going to crack on the goons, and I told you it will not happen, but you told me I was a doubting Thomas. Did he not say that there's end of goons? And then the president says that there'll be no goons in Homa Bay. So we are having a country which is moving in the wrong direction, while those people who are in charge should actually keep watch. No matter, Fred, of what are the political differences or people's political ambition, We should not allow our country to collapse into a state we can't. And I don't want to blame only government. You know, Fred, I've always been very Solomonic about what I say. First, leadership has failed in government to provide the necessary enabling environment, not just for politics, but also for business. Like what crime has an owner of a hotel done to open a door to sell mandazi and chai and bed for anybody who comes? Is there any client who is written Linda Jamii? For them, they don't know Linda Jamii client. They do not know UDA, broad-based. For them, they have opened a door and they pray every morning. May the Lord send people to this hotel, because that's how they make money. They're investors. Now, politicians who have never invested in anything interfere with their normal businesses. They should just be acted by the law. We don't even need the president or P.S. Omolo. Why should P.S. Omolo say they'll be peaceful? What is the role of him to say there's Linda Jamii peaceful? It means that there's something wrong in the country. Equally, the opposition, and I am part of the opposition, you know that, and I also believe that they are getting at the wrong direction, because opposition is chanting and being happy and praying that the president fails and that the current government fails for the current president to be a one-term president. Now, if this goes into a national collapse, the price will not be paid only by the president or by the opposition. The price will be paid by 56 million plus Kenyans who wants a country, legitimate businessmen and women who wants to further business. So the narrative that is going on in the country, I told you, Fred, from day one, is dangerous. We cannot have a country of one term versus two term, because one term is hatred. Equally, two term is also against the Constitution. Why should we sell an agenda? Now, if you ask me, and I like the word triumph, who triumphed in Homa Bay? Fred. Now, if you go to Homa Bay, what was the Linda Jamii message to the people of Homa Bay? Was there any message of hope?
About Linda Mwananchi.
Yes. What was their message? It was hatred. And that's why, Fred, I have a problem with anybody running for this office of presidency. Because all of them are running to settle some scores. The president is running to prove that he can get a second term no matter what. If you go to Sifuna, I was removed from ODM. If you go to Gachagua, I was removed from deputy president. If you go to Kalonzo, it is my time, I waited for too long. If you ask Matiang'i, I think it's our time for, you know what I mean? But what is going to be a triumph for Kenya? A country of promise. How can Vision 2026 be possible within this environment? Because the person who died in Homa Bay, what is Vision 2060 to do with him? The businesses that were destroyed in Homa Bay, and the insecurity now that is taking place in Homa Bay, while roads were barricaded, is that how Singapore went to their vision? So there's a failed leadership, and there's a leadership crisis in the country, and issuing statements after statements cannot solve this problem, and we need to frame the problem. How did these leaders get there? How did Kaluma become a leader? And not just Kaluma. If we don't ask ourselves a country, what are the processes to lead people to leadership? Because if you go to countries like China, the Xi Jinping led the Olympic game. He was able to demonstrate he delivered anything. Some of the people we elect have never delivered anything. And the first thing they deliver is to become an MP. Then later you find that they become, vice president. Then they become presidents. And they continue delivering nothing in those offices, and we continue recycling them.
If you look at the front page of the People Daily, Meshach, it talks about 2027, the violent rehearsal. How Kenya's campaigns are exposing the violence, intimidation, and political muscle that could shape the next general election. We've been down this road before, 20 years ago. Now, on page 2 of that paper, it talks about brother against brother inside the resurgence of the country's political intolerance. It's 358 days to the next election. You come from that part of the country, and seeing investments destroyed simply because of political campaigns. How does that make you feel?
Thank you, Fred. It is sad to see the things happening 1 year before elections. But again, it is sad that our reality is this is what happens in every election. Since I started voting, I don't know one election that was not tensed and that was not seeing ugly incidences like this. And it is sad that we don't have signs that other elections coming will be calm, peaceful, and more tolerant. The problem is, according to me, the country, as a country, we need to deal with the software, the people themselves. And this is the reason why I would say that, Fred. We have, today we are discussing Homa Bay. Maybe Homa Bay happened too fast, immediately after Nakuru, so we didn't have time to discuss Nakuru. But we've seen a lot of this happening in every other part of the country, including other Linda Mwananchi rallies, except a few that were really great, like Bungoma and Trans Nzoia and Kakamega of recent. But then, something that I think we are missing as a country, as a people, is dealing with ourselves and our thinking. And this is my reasoning. Is it possible now, with the kind of acceptance and love I saw the people of Bungoma showing Honorable Sifuna, Senator, as Linda Mwananchi or a presidential candidate, how much money do you think you can give me to go and corrupt people there to do the same thing, barricade roads for him and do all those ugly things? I don't think there will be enough money to do that. So that leads me to imagining or even thinking that politicians only ride on the feeling that is already there. So yes, politicians are not justified to do the likes of or utter the words like what I heard Honorable Kaluma utter, especially with regards to the hotels, because those are businesses and those are what makes Homa Bay great. If you have a town where people don't have even accommodation, that's not a town. It will be a different thing altogether. So the words of Honorable Kaluma must be condemned fully, without any reservation. But again, we must not forget that for people to barricade roads, because where they were in Nyandiwa or that part of Gwase or Suba South, there are only two exits. You either have the route coming from that side of Gwase to Sori and coming back to Rodi, where Kaluma is the MP, or you have the other side of Sindo going to the route coming from Bita and then coming to Homa Bay. So those are actually the two routes. And both of them were actually barricaded. And I think I remember Orengo having a problem around there, you trying to use the access through Sori. So if those were all blocked, then it means the politicians of that area are already seeing that this is the feeling of the people about maybe the group coming. And so they are riding on that feeling. Because if that was not the case, then it would be easy to imagine that I can now go to Bungoma as long as I have money and I can make the people of Bungoma barricade roads for Sifuna. I don't think that will be happening or can easily happen.
We're assuming it's not the common Mwananchi who does this. These are hired goons at work. It's not the people of Homa Bay who come out of their houses and say we are blocking the roads.
If they are hired goons, which part of this country has goons where we go and hire like a market? Which one? Because we have used this a lot. When it is Mount Kenya and ugly things are happening, all the leaders there claim that even the people, they were not our people. These people were ferried. So, and then if it is Homa Bay, the people there will say, they are not our people. So where are these people kept? Which is this market where you walk, you hire goons?
Are you saying there are no goons for hire?
There are goons for hire, but we can't claim that every time it happens in my area, it is not our people. They came from elsewhere. Let us just accept it is our people And when
the goons are our people, yes.
Yeah,
but,
when it happens elsewhere, it is their people. When the Gen Z or after the Gen Z, the ugly scenes were seen in Mount Kenya, every leader there was saying, it is not our people. Then when DCI follows things that were looted, they find them in those villages. So you realize, if they were not our people, how did they come, loot, and then keep in our houses? So what happened in Homa Bay, the people who are barricading the roads are people from Homa Bay. We can't say someone was brought from elsewhere to barricade road in Homa Bay. But one thing I'm saying, we are leaders around these places rally or just take advantage of the feeling of the people there, and they take it extreme, and that is what should stop.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, we discuss how these institutions are supposed to guard against such acting or not doing their work. You're watching TV47 Breakfast.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning. You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza simu yako. Hamna pesa.
I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Ikikunyuma.
Oh my God. He left me. Nitumie ni live.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-Fi? Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea. The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero umeka kwa beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system.
Welcome back. You're watching TV47 Breakfast. It's the events that took place in Homa Bay this past weekend that we're taking a look at, and it's because it's on all the front pages today. So on the front page of the People Daily, even the Star has it. Attempts to by suspected goons to disrupt rally thwarted. Battle for Raila staff is on the front page of the Daily Nation. Sifuna atikisa ngome ya Wanga, and triumphant. The fact that they appear to have overcome goons seems to be the victory now. And it would appear it is politicians, the electorate versus goons. There's now this group that we're calling goons. And there's a lot of debate, Felicity, about the goons, whether they're just for hire, whether it's a cause, it's a direct result of unemployment. But either way, it's a problem we're dealing with.
Yes.
Do you feel that they're going to define a lot of this campaign period? I know when Odede said that all the previous elections, at least the last 2, 3, or 4, we've had cases of anxiety and tension here and there. But don't you agree that this time around, there's a new trend that has not been there before?
It's going to be a trend as long as the government suspends the rule of law and decides not to act on goonism. Because we said they started it. They endorsed it. They let it happen. And what happens is that actually these are not goons. Let me not even say, we are just using that word because these are people, it can be the same. One person is hired to do something in the morning and the same person is hired to do something against the same person they were hired in the morning to do for. So unemployment partly contributes to it. Being idle contributes to it in a big way. But most importantly is that when the government doesn't allow people to speak or to move, then Orengo said, I have relatives in Homa Bay. Homa Bay is my home. You cannot prevent somebody from going to their home. You cannot prevent somebody from going to spread their word or their ideology to their people. I should have the freedom to be able to go. When we went to Meru, they barricaded the road. They cut trees, started fires on the road, and we come from Meru County, and yet we are being barricaded against going home. That is not possible. You will find that even my relatives will come and open the road for me to go home. So it's as long as the government does not take action against the people who break the law, this is going to continue because Orengo has to go to Homa Bay. I have to go to Meru. You have to go to where you want to go to. So this is here to stay until the government does what it's supposed to do, in as far as the security is concerned.
Earlier I quoted one of the vocal lawyers we have. This is Ahmed Nasser Abdullahi. And this morning he tweeted that the goonism we saw in Homa Bay can only mean one thing. It is time for a radical change in the to the political leadership in the internal security ministry.
Yes.
He said, I think the time for PS Dr. Raymond Omolo is up and CS Murkomen needs serious reflection and new strategy as we approach 2027. It is not a one-sided affair. Goons are a trend now across the country. We did not see this in 2022. Yes, there were pockets of violence here and there were some leaders who used this kind of style of politics. But this time round, it would appear each politician has to have their own militia for them to campaign or to do their activities. And even despite the assurance by the PS in charge of internal security, interior, that this would not happen, it still went ahead and happened. Don't you think that the lawyer is right, or at least his perspective is valid in as far as the political leadership in the Interior Ministry?
Fred, I don't think the lawyer understands what he's talking about, because as a strategist, there's something we call perfect personality assumption, that if you change somebody in a position, things look different. No, it's the system. Who has appointed PS Omolo? Who is appointing authority? And what is the direction of that person? The sitting president has owned goons. And you know the case in Kiamba. How are people killed in Kiamba? And that is at ICC. It's not Fred Ogola speaking, isn't it? So if you have a president who has presided over such acts.
He has not been convicted for the same.
Yes, but you see that it's on record. At least there's a case which was presided by. There was a case which was presided over by. And then look here.
Judgment on
Let's even clear. How did President William Ruto become the kingpin of the Kalenjin nation? When he said that he can remove the Kikuyus from the region. And that's when they saw their person. It's the same politics that's being said by even Gachagua, isn't it? So people have ridden into this high political position by trying to say, I'm defending my people against other people. And this is the thing they play. I'm just not personalizing to the president. Even Raila Odinga had goons, Baghdad boys. So why is it very unique now? We don't change the political software of this country. There's nothing going to change. So I'm just assuming we're removing PS Omolo, you plug him there, let's say you find Fred in the Muli there, isn't it? Appointing authority tells you about that they should not rally in Homa Bay. What will you do as a PS? You'll just issue some statement, then it happens. It's been historical like that. So I'm not saying changing PS Omolo, like even now you say, let's change the government spokesperson. What are they speaking now? The same thing, isn't it? So we should just go back and ask ourselves, what is the way forward for Kenya? And I want to tell you, Fred, because for me, I don't like talking about symptoms of an issue. I have to go to the root cause of a problem. As an economy, talk about cause of causes. In Latin, we say causa causarum. What is the cause of causes? We are fighting for democracy, isn't it? Democracy is not something African. We're behaving like we have electoral self-democracy, but there's no enabling environment for democracy. Democracy can only work when we have a strong middle class, which we don't have. The poverty levels in Kenya are too high for us to exercise democracy. Because why are somebody ready for hire? You hire, the person with the money will determine anything that happens. And even my brother here already knows how politics in Luo Nyanza is ruthless. Before you go to the ground, you must treat the ground. Treating ground kumaanisha unatuma pesa so that some people will shout your name positively or negatively. So the person who can pay more will have more choir shouting for him. And the person with more money can have choir shouting against somebody. This is the politics I've seen since I was born. Even Orengo himself has done them. They cannot rise to where they are if they have not done it. I was in Siaya, Orengo campaign.
You're saying that no one can actually...
yeah, and no one should point a finger. I've told you...
We're not going to point a finger. So we just sit back and say, okay, fine, this is what happens in our society.
No, as leaders, Fred.
Should we expect accountability at any level?
The president himself now should make a decision. Is this a legacy he wants to leave? Removing PS Omolo and putting other people is not the solution. He has reshuffled the cabinet since the beginning with no any impact. Tell me which is the performing minister you can say for sure this is now happening. Even we got people from Jubilee, like the ones in the Ministry of Agriculture, isn't it? What's happening there? We got a team of experts, the bodies who are shouting on top of the roof how Ruto was not performing. They are in the government. They are not yet performing. Because the software, the ecosystem of this government, I told you that the problem for government is two: grossly incompetent government and grossly corrupt government. With those things in mind, Fred, you can change any person. Even your mother can be appointed as a CS for Interior.
Sense of helplessness that I'm trying to understand. Bwana Odede, it's 358 days to elections. Are we going to sit back and say because we have a software problem, something we cannot fix in the next few months, that okay, fine, we'll get into this election, each politician will come with the goons, and then that will... We saw the by-elections in Kasipul, which turned violent. We saw, I think, in Malava also. And it's the same, it's a trend now that, and according to the people daily, they're saying turning brother into brother, that this is not imported. It is politicians, if you're running for an MP seat in rural place, that your rival has to come with goons and you come with your own goons. And that has become a trend, and we cannot hold anyone to account.
We can hold someone to account, Fred. The government has a role to ensure peace and security for properties and people. That is what makes them government. Other than that, they are collecting taxes to enable them to do all that. So in any ugly situation, yes, we will accept both sides of the divide have got a role to play, but the government has a higher role because they have a higher responsibility. We say behind every privilege, there is a responsibility, which is higher. So if you are privileged to be the president, you are privileged to be the CS in charge of Interior, you are privileged to be the IG with clear mandate in the Constitution. And that office, remember, the president cannot wake up one morning and fire you. Kenyans, in their wisdom, decided, let us do this power separation and get an IG who can actually command the police fraternity. So we cannot be saying they have the same role with the other guys. I don't collect taxes, for example, from the people, but government does. So when there is an ugly situation, they have been given a role to ensure that peace and security reigns. So when we look at places like Homa Bay and other parts of the country, we've seen Linda Mwananchi rallies. The other time when they were about to go to Mount Kenya and Rigathi told them, usileta kierere hapa utamutaumia, and they actually went somewhere, and that is where Irungu Kangata's driver was shot. The same we saw in Kisii, where one gentleman died, and other places. So it's not an Homa Bay thing, it's a country thing. But my point is, government needs to rise above the rest because they have that responsibility. They collect taxes.
The PS must have felt the weight and hence assured that this would not happen.
Yes.
Then he understands it's part of his role.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. While we are looking at people who have role, we give government more because they do more in terms of collecting taxes and others.
I'm saying PS Omolo as government.
Yes, PS Omolo is part and parcel of government, and it goes all the way to the man on the top, President William Ruto. But that does not mean that the members of parliament, leaders elected, do not have a role. They do have a role because showing leadership comes at such a time. And that is why we are condemning the words of Honorable Kaluma, among others, who may have instigated what is already there, but maybe give the fuel to it so that it can burn. That is wrong. But then my last point is, the people have a role as well. Many times we are quick to condemn the leaders, condemn everyone, but think right now, as a young man, if you are 25 or 30, you don't know that hacking someone is bad. It's only a politician who can tell you do it, and you do it, and then you don't have any blame. You don't have any blame. It is the political class that made you do it. Can you go to court and defend that and say, I was told by Honorable so-and-so, and then the judge says, you are clean, you are just poor, you are jobless, that's why you did this, the way I hear the argument is going on here. Nobody will have to go scot-free after hacking someone. If you did something wrong as a young man, as long as you're above 18, you either made a choice, because we can also go into the same society where you come from and get a young man of your age or younger than you who has no job and is also going through the same problem and has decided, I am not doing this. When we went to Olkalau, for example, because I have seen people using Olkalau as the SI unit of an election, the young people there, it was claimed, I was not there, but it was claimed all over, that the young people decided to take money, take everything from the side they don't want and vote the way they want. Why is it not the same case when it comes to the violence? Why can't they then just decide this, like the same young people in Olkalau, take all the monies from Kalumas and everybody, but never do anything like barricading the road or being violent on another person? Why, when it gets to that point, they are no longer making such decisions? So the people also have a responsibility.
Right. Back to the politicians, because as we've all agreed, they hold a higher office and probably the level of responsibility in as far as influencing people is a bit higher, even in as far as perceptions are concerned. We saw how the MP from Ukuruene made something similar, issued a threat against people opposed to a certain party, and we saw the kind of
he did not even leave the studio.
The police action that was instantaneous, almost instantaneous. Are you feeling that this time around the treatment is different? Someone said something before the fact, it happened, and no one has acted so far?
So this is the selective application of justice, and that is why Kenyans are seeing what is happening, and they are taking the law into their own hands. I want to agree with the good professor here when he says that the fish starts rotting from the head. So whatever it is that you do, you need to change the head. Why? If Raymond Omolo can assure people and still we see what we saw yesterday, it means that his word counts for nothing. Secondly, with the state capture or the capture of all public institutions in this country, including the independent offices by the executive, and the installation of weak leadership into these institutions, do not expect much until you deal with the rotten head.
They've come up with
I also want to agree that yes, people will be held personally responsible for their actions. But then again, when you push people to a corner, what do you expect? Human beings are human beings. They are going to push back because you give them no alternative. Personally, I'm looking forward to Senior Counsel and His Excellency the Governor, Orengo, suing the IG, because he said he's going to sue him for what he did yesterday. So let's see what the judiciary is going to do. because we've lost hope in the National Assembly. We've lost hope in the independent offices that are meant to enforce the law. So let's see when Orengo sues the IG, what is going to come out of it. Maybe this may be the ray of hope.
It's been less than 2 weeks since the formation of that interagency multi-sectoral committee to handle such cases. Yet they continue unabated. From history, it's been that any politician summoned or arrested for hate speech, violence or incitement, or even issuing threats, they end up getting a slap on the wrist, and that's the worst that could happen. And this is across the entire country. Do you think that's a problem? We pay for these commissions. We pay for all these agencies to be in existence. Do you think they're serving any purpose?
Yeah, Fred, I told you that the day I'll become president, I'll kill all these institutions who have been put as smoke screens to pretend it's happening. You know, when I was a young boy, I was born in Ugenya, and my grandmother lived in a place called Trans Nzoia, which has a lot of mosquitoes. So whenever I would spend the night in my grandmother's house, and I would not sleep because I did not know how to cover my head with a blanket, my grandmother would come and spray some dust and tell me, after this one now, you just sleep, to brainwash me that that dust will help, but later the mosquitoes still bite me. And this is what happens normally. They create an institution telling you, now this will protect this one, and they know that it's not doing it. Let's go to corruption, Anti-Corruption Commission, isn't it? There is what you even call Unemployment Authority of Kenya. We should give young people jobs, isn't it? Their website is not even working. So you look at the list of authorities, parastatals, agencies, an institution which takes money from Kenyans, taxpayers' money, and don't work. Go to EACC. Every corrupt person has been passed through there. MCAs, senators, governors, president, deputy president, state officers, PSS, CSS, all of them has been passed by EACC. Why is there corruption in Kenya? Singapore don't have one. Come to the issue of multi-central agencies. They just draw money from the coffers, from the public, and deliver nothing. Even compensation for victims of violence, they are there. Commissions are commissions. Moi used to set commission for anything, isn't it? Delivered nothing. And money was drawn from the taxpayers' coffers. So for a Kenyan who is suffering, even now that's to say, young people, I'm telling you, my brother, don't blame these people. They have looked and discovered that the government never do anything for them. And they are dying of hunger. You give them money, they perform anything they want to perform because they want to live. So you can't blame them, Fred. So what I'm trying to say is that the issue of implementation of these people's mandate is the problem. If your president cannot deliver their mandate, isn't it? He appoints you to deliver your mandate. What do you care? If the head was delivering what is needed, then they can remand. When I was academic director in Strathmore, I used to tell my lecturers, you must be in class 5 minutes before the class begins so that you wait for students, no student waiting for you. I myself used to do that. So I was leading by example, so people can follow. So what is the example from the president, from the deputy president, from those people top there that we can learn from? Yeah. If that example is not there, I talk about exemplary leadership. And I want to tell Meshach, this is interesting, my brother. Do you know why, if you tell me you'll hold these young boys accountable? I know this very well. I've been on the street, Fred. When you arrest these young people, they'll have their godfathers who will come, represent them in court, pay for them cash bail. And they have been promised that also. I'm giving you 2,000 shillings. In case you're arrested, I'm a lawyer. I'll come. Go to all courts in Kenya. You'll see now, after being arrested, their godfathers coming for them with money and also with legal representation. And that's what they've been assured they're going to be done for. So even if you hold them responsible, what else? And then, Fred, if you have no job, you are dying of hunger. I've been in the cells, by the way, I've been arrested 12 times by this current government because of Mandamano. You get food in the morning and in the evening. So if you are dying of hunger outside there and you arrest me, and that's my option, I'll just stay. So what option do you have for someone who literally have nothing? Okay. And then lastly, Fred, this government is very intolerant. As a professor in Strathmore, I lost my job because of speaking on this live television. When I said that the economic model cannot work, I didn't throw a stone, isn't it? They threw the stone at me and told Strathmore to fire me. And they are doing this to everybody. So how can they lead by example?
All right.
Can they be tolerant even with the professional who simply said what cannot work? Now what has worked since independence, since he got election? The president became president on 13th of September 2022. And he promised me that his first job will to fire me on 15th. 3 days later, I lost my job, Fred. So that intolerance, tell me which murder I've committed. By simply saying that your ideology cannot work, will not work, has never worked anywhere, and is not working even now, then you tell us beyond 2030. These are hypocrites. They should never be given a chance to rule a country.
Okay.
And they're incompetent, incorrupt, and intolerant. And that's the example every Kenyan is learning from.
Thank you for that, Prof. Bonodede, there's something that can be done. As you said, it's about changing the software of the society. One of them is causing deterrence, or providing proper deterrence for politicians or people who are aspiring, because aspirants too are known to cause violence. The threat when this, or the warning from this multi-sectoral team that was formed was that some of these people will not be on the ballot. Do you think that is a valid threat, or just empty rhetoric? That if at all you're caught inciting, threatening, or causing any problem in as far as campaigns are concerned, you will not be on the ballot. Do you think that could work in our situation?
That cannot work fully because we have people like Rigathi who, by law, may not be in the ballot, but is still controlling a huge mass. And when he says left, they go left, knowing very well he might not even be in the ballot for any seat. So deterring these people may just create another gang out there. Like they tell the story of how the British at some point tried to deal with the snakes in India. And when they said there are a lot of snakes out there, venomous, and then we will now pay for anybody who catches them so that they can deal with the problem. And then those people started catching the snake and breeding them now to come and sell because it's now a big business. Then when they stopped paying, those people went again and released all the snakes they breeded, and now it became twice or thrice bigger problem. So sometimes we try to deal with this problem, and the way we try to deal with it creates even more. Because when I know I have nothing to lose, but I still have control of the mind of the people, then I will take them wherever I want, because the only thing you could scare me with is barring me from running. And I know I'm now fully barred from running. So when I decide to go with them to the river, I will go with them to the river, because what else can you do? Nothing. So sometimes I think those can only be there, and that is what takes me back to my point. The people need to make a decision, what kind of country do they want? Because if I decide to follow you, Fred, it doesn't matter. I say, when you have decided that Meshach is a madman, anything I do points that I am mad. If I keep quiet, you see, the way he is quiet, only mad people are silent like this. If I speak, you see, hear him speak, only mad people speak like this. So when the people will have decided that this is the country we want, believe me, and I told you, if the people love you, like now Jacom the late, my people loved him, even before the rest of the country picks him as a true leader. How much money would somebody have got to corrupt anybody's mind to stop Raila Odinga or make it chaotic for him to access any part?
They tried.
They tried, but it didn't work because the people themselves said, this is the man we want. So it is the young people of this country that will decide to rescue this country by themselves. When they decided in 2024, who gave them money? They just decided they were still jobless the same way, but they decided we want this kind of reform. So that is what I am belaboring on as a point. When young people shall have decided again that we will not go anywhere we don't want to go because some money has been poured. In 2024, nobody had to buy them, but they had to breach parliament because they wanted their voices and they wanted a certain country they have in their mind. Let them decide again today. If we are going for election of 2027, and we are not going to take any money to go a certain way, barricade any road or do anything. We want a situation where any politician will come, say what they want to say and go. Those who will buy what they say will buy, those who will not buy. But don't tell us to attack anybody or barricade roads for anyone. We are not doing that. When they decide, it will happen.
All right. Political intolerance, a big discussion here. On front page of the People Daily, they say turning brother against brother. And they also talk about a rehearsal for violence in 2027, which is quite sad. 2027, the violent rehearsal. 20 years later, after what we witnessed in 2007, why would anyone want to go back to that? Anyway, remember you can keep watching us. You can continue watching TV47 and access all our content through our new app, our brand new digital platform, Vibe47. It is available online and on your phone. You can download it from Play Store and App Store. It will feature entertainment, lifestyle, news, current affairs, and original shows, all tailored for you whenever and wherever. It places a strong emphasis on Kenyan voices and everyday experiences while opening new opportunities for creators and emerging talent. There you have it. You can actually see what's happening right now. You can access all that content, even including TV47 Breakfast as we continue. You can watch it. Yeah, there you go. That's Mwashumbe on Radio 47 right now. You can access Radio 47, TV47, and you know what? It's all for free. Yes, even as we continue now with observing political trends, it appears it is the season, yes, we all agree it's a season of madness, but it's also the beginning of the season of defections. And we've seen quite a number of MPs or elected leaders now declaring, I'm no longer allegiance to this, I no longer owe allegiance to this party or the other, and now I'm crossing over. Let's watch what happened at the weekend with Rigathi Gachagua. He was somewhere in Kiambu, and some of those who've already defected were present there.
Speaking on Sunday at FCA Gatundu in Kiambu County, DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua expressed anger over the recent attacks against the opposition. Gachagua accused the government of funding groups of goons to disrupt the opposition. During the church service, Gachagua used the opportunity to urge Mount Kenya MPs not to allow themselves to be used by the government to harass residents of Mount Kenya region. He also called on the MPs to apologize to residents of the region. This coming after Gatundu South MP Gabriel Kagombe joined the church service, who recently announced his decision to leave UDA and join the DCP party.
Mungu tulikukosea wapi? Ya kwamba tulichagua rais ambaye ndio anapanga vita kwa nchi yake. Polisi wanalalamika. Tunaambiwa tupige wa Kenya na hatutaki. Tunaambiwa tuharibu mali ya wa Kenya hatutaki. Tunaambiwa tufanye kazi na goons hatutaki. Kama huyu Kagombe ameanza kuokoka. Ameona ni ujinga kuchukua pesa ya Ruto kuumiza jamii yako. Si ni ujinga?
Gachagua has claimed that the government has already plotted to misappropriate money provided by the Russian government as compensation for victims who died while fighting in the war.
Serikali ya Russia inafanya compensation ya 15 million Kenya shillings kwa ile mtu yote anakufa kwa hiyo vita. Na hiyo pesa inakuliwa. Na huyu waziri anaitwa Alfred Mutua wakiwa na Ruto.
They condemned the violence reported in Homa Bay County and called on the chairperson of the National Cohesion and Integration Commission NCIC to intervene and take action against Homa Bay Town MP Peter Kaluma over allegations of promoting hate speech and inciting the violence witnessed during the Mwananchi rally.
Niambie chair wa NCIC, wewe ni bishop, fanya kazi ambayo unastahili kufanya. Hata huyo Peter Kaluma sasa hivi anafaa kukuwa ametafutwa na DCI, akamatwe, apelekwe kotini, yajibu mashtaka. Mimi nataka niambie NCIC na DCI na ODPP, wakati watu wengine wanazungumza, nyinyi mmemakinika kabisa, mnaharakisha kuwashika within 24 hours.
During the political activities, Gatundu South MP Kagombe was booed by residents just days after leaving the UDA party and joining DCP. Kagombe had accompanied Gachagua to the church service.
Na huyo mtu alitudanganya sana. Mimi ninasema kutoka leo
tuko upande wa Rigathi Gachagua.
Mumekataa, mumekataa, si raia ndio wenye kuamua.
The leaders urge Kenyans not to allow themselves to be used by politicians to disrupt peace as the country prepares for the 2027 general election.
Wewe William Ruto, utuambie uko na shida gani na watu wa media na watu wa opposition?
We must make a deliberate effort of supporting these people to get jobs. Hata biashara zao wananyanyaswa, hata licenses wananyanyaswa.
After the church service, Gachagua's team addressed residents in Gatundu and Thika Town, Kiambu County.
That story is more or less a cocktail of a lot of things, but I just want us to focus on the defections. And they say that for you to become a politician, you must shed off any shame that you may have. The ability to feel shame. Yes, it is a time for realignment, probably for hoping for re-election, but it does come at a cost as well. And you see what is up, and it's across board, because even ODM is facing the same problem. DCP, PNU and other parties in Mount Kenya region are facing the same problem. But it does take a lot of, as an aspirant especially, yes, it does take a lot of heart and, sorry to say, but lack of shame to make such a move at times. I know politicians do it.
Yes, but you've seen the reaction from the crowd. And I want to remind my colleague, he keeps saying the people, but you need to understand that the people have already decided. There would be no triumphant entry if the people decide that you will not enter into a place. So anytime you see that triumphant entry, it's because the people want you to enter. And like we've said, goons are local. You don't import them. Mm-hmm. Or on the other side of the coin is the people who overcome the goons are local. So this was bound to happen because a lot of politicians have been saying, the ones who've been supporting the regime, the oppressive regime, the exclusive regime, the unfair regime, have been saying that we want to see what it is that we can get from the government before we exit. And they've been persuading the people and telling them, wait, let's wait for the final budget to be read. Let's see what development we can get. Forgetting that development is the right of the people. It's not a favor from the government. Mm-hmm. You know, there is also the irony that they've been saying we need to protect this government so that it can give us the development. And we've been telling them it's the government that is supposed to protect the people, not the politicians to protect the government. So you saw our party leader, DCP, I'm a member, say that he has 86 members of parliament who have applied to join the party.
Current elected?
Yes, despite the fact that they've been supporting or enabling the oppressive regime to do what it has done for the last 4 years. And the party actually formed a committee of 8 people to vet or to decide what will happen with these people who apply to join the party. So this is not unexpected. This was very much expected. It is the season for transfers. In soccer, you know, I'm not a soccer fan, mm-hmm, but it's a transfer season. So let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, people, Kenyans are not stupid. They can see what is happening and what has been happening.
Who go with these waves. The UDA wave was a very strong one in the Mount Kenya region. The ODM wave had its moments, especially in the coast region, western, and of course, in Nyanza region. And DCP now has a wave. And politicians always think and believe that as long as I ride the wave, I will survive. It's the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, who said that 60% of these MPs will not make it back to the National Assembly. Don't you think that that has changed even further, especially with the exit of Raila Odinga from the political scene?
Yeah, I told you earlier that whether Raila was going to be vying for president or not, he will win the ballot in some way. And you see what's happening now in Luo Nyanza, and now come to this other side. Because this one is focusing on the Mount Kenya. I think the Mount Kenya people have been very interesting from what I've been seeing, and even at the moment you can't predict them. I used to be a strategist for the opposition, for Raila Odinga for some time, and Raila used to tell us that Mount Kenya speaks the last minute. So even this way we are saying, it can still go another way. Mm-hmm. I'm even thinking that they can even go UDA. I still believe so, because Mount Kenya has remained very unpredictable for a long time. Baba was called Jamba, and then he got nothing in the end. I remember even against Uhuru, people thought that Mount Kenya would turn out to vote for Baba, but they didn't. So it is too early to call Mount Kenya. And in fact, it's just like now she's talking about football. It's not just politics. You saw a player who was playing for Man City goes to play against Man City the other day. So politicians should not be branded that badly. But there must be something you have to understand. Even in business, you cannot count against a wave. Coca-Cola is being drunk very much, yet it's not one of the best drinks anyway. They invest money on communication and marketing. So it's not just politics. People try normally to not ride against the wave. But the question I should ask you, friend, and we should ask it, is it good for Kenyans if most of the MPs which were in parliament go back? No. As one of the people who were in this protest that breached parliament, those MPs have never made a decision in the best interest of Kenya. The more they go home, the better. In fact, not even that I'm against them. We need to change the political environment by bringing people with ideas. And that's why I want to urge the people, my generation, like the millennials, the Gen Zs, the Gen Xs, if we have any sway in this election, we should not wait and listen to the noise. We should know what's the signal. Who can lead your county? Who can lead your sub-county? Who can be good in your ward? And I'm also very afraid, again, Fred, that women like my sister here and young people, with this violence that is taking place, that could be another way to bring them back, because they have tyranny, or let's talk about tyranny of violence. So if tyranny of violence won't work, like if you look at the front page of Standard, you see that is a main territory. I don't even see a woman there. Show me any woman there. If a woman never made this triumphant entry, it is the same way it's gonna be difficult for women to enter here. So we could even say, like Jesus says, it's gonna be difficult for a woman to enter to this parliament, just like it's difficult for a rich man to pass through the Nile. So if we cannot create an environment, I talk about the gender idea and the youth idea. Can we create an environment for women to get into leadership? Okay. Can we create an environment for youth to enter leadership? With this violence and money, the amount of money needed to win this election is going to take out most women and also most men. Yet the world is better with more women, Fred. Do you know that women determine more of the consumption of the world, because women are the ones who actually spend more money even on those cosmetics, call it whatever it is. Shopping for a girl, taking a girl to high school is more expensive than a boy, because they actually consume more, they need more. So I'm looking at a world whereby this can be equivalent. But the question Mount Kenya should be asking as they take those movements and people shifting left and forth, the very leader of DCP was also in UDA. So I don't see something really wrong there, because also he defected.
It's a reaction that we watched there from because that was in Gatundu.
Yes. Yeah.
And these are the same electorate who voted in for that MP. Yeah. Are people now shifting, because we've been talking about voters and how their psyche is heading towards election. Do you feel, Wanodede, that the Kenyan voter is brighter this time round? That yes, we understand that politicians don't have any particular ideology. They can move from one party to another as long as the wave is with that party. Even ODM has benefited a lot in Luo Nyanza. Do you feel that right now, without Raila Odinga, that the electorate will punish some of the MPs who are elected because of the Raila Odinga wave?
Thank you, Fred. One, you realize that Kenyan voters don't punish these politicians because of changing political parties. Kenyan electorates move with a lot of waves, and they vote more on emotions and then think later. So even the actions happens out of emotions, and then now they use logic to think about it.
Later?
Yeah, later after that. Now logic comes in and this is not good, this was not good. That is normal. And I don't know where Professor has been when he says Mount Kenya votes last minute or decides. Mount Kenya takes decision. In 2018, they just refused the Raila Uhuru handshake and the emotions were whipped. And as early as that, they had decided they are gone. And even the by-elections, the likes of Kawanjiku, were showing that this is where they are. And they ended up there. So in 2002, they supported Raila because Raila was supporting Kibaki. And that is what they wanted. So that is what they called him Jamba for. Not that him to be president. Because when it was time for him to be president, they refused. And I don't know where they take the late decision. So right now they have taken their decision and they are in a certain corner. The problem I have is the political bad manners that we entertain as a people. Politicians can misbehave, but if we were to punish them for misbehavior, they would toe the line and do the right thing. But as a people, we do not. Look at now, we are discussing members of parliament who in the records were elected as UDA members of parliament by the same people who are busy entertaining them, calling them, you are a DCP member, you are a DCP member. When did they become DCP member? When did they resign? Because you went to the ballot and you had 10 political parties or 90 and you chose this one and voted me in. But here I am, I have not resigned. If they believe that people love them that much, it is just good to resign, go back because those people love you. What are you waiting for? Why are you afraid? Just go back to them because they are the people who you are claiming that we are listening to the people and the people are actually speaking. So what is wrong with you just resigning the way Raila Odinga did? And they are all the people claiming they are following Raila Odinga's footsteps. All of a sudden, after Raila died, everybody now loves Raila, including people who thrown all the abuses at him and everything. So if we were to stop entertaining bad manners, then we would have a country. Because today, all of them who claims, including ODM, there are those who goes to the podium and claims ODM is dead. It is not there anymore. Then they are also nowhere because they don't have a party. But we are entertaining them. So it is the people. I still go to my point. When the people will decide we do not want bad manners, politicians will toe the line.
Very many people, elected leaders, have benefited from what we call typically the six-piece suit voting. Do you see that happening this time around? Are those parties strong enough? Do you see that wave? Or will people think, okay, fine, my MCA can come from this party, probably my governor can come from a different party?
There are places which will still see six-piece because of the domination of a particular political party. There are emotions towards certain sections of political classes. And so when they close their eyes, they will do six-piece. But some other parts of the country will not.
Do you see that happening in ODM-dominated zones like Luo Nyanza, for example, or Western, that it will be six-piece?
Western may not see six-piece a lot, but Luo Nyanza may still see six-piece, and some other parts of the country with other parties.
Mount Kenya, do you think it's determined now, it's six-piece, it's DCP? That's the way. That's the biggest wave right now.
Yeah, but
we saw what happened in Olkalau with even the party that the immediate former member of parliament belonged to.
Yes.
And the kind of dismal performance it had there. Is this a trend that is now going back? That the electorate is the same? It's just as long as we are riding on this wave, everything is on one.
I don't think so, because like you said clearly, 60% of the MPs don't come back. Like in my county where I come from, about 10 MCAs come back. So all the others, 35 of them will not come back. So people do, there's a bit of, it's a mix of both emotion and reasoning. But like in my county, it's not really six-piece. We even have ODM MPs, we have PNU MCAs, we have a whole mixed bag of political parties. So it's also not right to say, it's the ideology. Once people buy into the ideology, you can get the six-piece. But it's not as easy as
Prof, do you believe that the Kenyan voter has changed much from what we saw previously, especially with parties, big parties like ODM?
It has not changed much, but the packaging is different. You know, Raila had a way how he was packaging these things. And the political experience Raila has, you don't see it now. Look at how the Azimio was formed. And then again, even Raila did not vie on ODM, was the only candidate in Azimio. But Azimio helped many people to get elected under other parties. And even Raila found himself that he could not actually preach six-piece because in Nairobi, he was supporting Rigathi, who was in Jubilee, and he was actually in ODM. So you find that six-piece is also just like his own death, irrespective of how you package it. And I want to give you one typical example that will blow your mind. If you do know Tharaka Nithi County, Tharaka Nithi County, everybody was UDA, and it created a problem because, for example, if all MCAs are ODM, then you go to National Assembly, then you need minority and majority. What happens? Look at Nairobi, where the majority was ODM, but the governor was won by UDA. Now it created a lot of crisis how to manage it. And I will tell Kenyans that the more you look at it, we need to amend the constitution in a certain way that one party cannot get a senator like Tharaka Nithi, a senator, UDA, governor, UDA, women rep, UDA, all MPs, UDA, and all MCs, UDA. Where can citizens now speak? These guys will meet in their political cocoon and decide against the people. So we're thinking
it's something that would happen in a place like Nyanza. That
yeah, so that's even in Luo Nyanza, go to Siaya, the governor is UDA, was ODM. Senator, ODM. Nearly all MCs, ODM. Now, when you come to internal democracy within that county, that's why theft is common in Luo Nyanza by all governors. Who will oppose them? Who will even come with contrary bills to even challenge how it's happening? Orengo is completely in serious violation of in how he appoints all his CCs. Who will oppose him? He was even able to remove, almost nearly remove, his own deputy governor. Look at all those things happening. Go to Homa Bay, where Gladys Wanga was even have another deputy governor whom she didn't go with for an election. So these things are killing democracy in one or the other. And I think that the six-piece is one of the cancer that is killing even people's chances. Like if you're a young person, to get DCP ticket, like you hear that Rigathi has said there will be people vetting. I'm telling you, there's no vetting. The person who gives the party leader the highest amount of money will get the ticket. So if you don't have money as a young person you want to vie, you have no chance. Okay. So it is killing chance for women, killing chance for men. But I just allow me to say one thing.
As your parting shot.
As my parting shot.
I only have 5 minutes.
Kenyans, you have to know that a country like Kenya has no twin brother or sister. This is the only thing we have. So if you fight and you create all this animosity and our country loses the focus wrong, then tell politicians, we are not fighting for political liberation. And they like for me, it's like a political liberation. It's economic liberation we need. So without economic liberation, even political liberation will not happen. And I go back and say the Kenyan problem is economic. Let politicians now talk to you about what is the economic policy ideology they want to change with you, not how they want to take power, because that has been done already. The second liberation of political liberation which took place. The third liberation which we are waiting for is economic liberation, how people can have money in their pockets, food, security, education, among other goods of life, not their own political interest.
Thank you so much. Meshach, a parting shot.
Thank you. When this country and the population themselves will decide they want the constitution to be followed and they want the principles to be leading the process, then we will have a country, because we cannot entertain and keep entertaining that today you're electing Meshach on ODM, tomorrow if I part ways with my party leader or whoever, I join another party, and as if your role in electing me in that party did not matter. It is me now choosing for you the kind of party I need. If that will stop happening, then we will start seeing what is called party discipline, And then we will know as a people how to put political parties, which are the vehicles to power, to account. And that will make the political party which is in power to learn to account for everything, because you know the people own this party, and when they say no, they will replace our party with another party in power. Right now, it is the individuals. So once an individual decides this is it, then my work is to go on the ground and poison everything. And we hear things like, when you are not in the party I belong to, you are an enemy to our people, you are a traitor. Yeah? And things like that makes it difficult for politicians to now stand with any principle, because the people feel like you are a traitor. So when Rigiji says the Kimani Ichungwas are traitors to their people, then the Luo-Nyanza will say Orengos are traitors to their people, and another part of the country like that. And now we move away from the principle. So let's give the people a chance to imagine that they made a choice of a political party, and that is why they left other parties and elected Fred on this particular party.
All right, thank you. Felicity, wrap it up for us.
My closing, or my parting shot, is to the holders of independent offices. I want to call upon them to know that they will be held personally responsible. It's their legacy that they need to protect. We have 1 year to elections, and they need to play their roles. They need to do what they're supposed to do. They need to know that they're protected by the Constitution, and that nothing will happen to them if they do what they're supposed to do. This is the IG, the ODPP, the DCI, the NCIC, all these people who are supposed to bring this country to order. Let them do their part, let them do their job, and Kenyans will judge them, not the... In fact, the appointing authority is not really, I don't know, they're protected by the Constitution. Let them do what they're supposed to do to bring order to this country.
All right, 358 days to the next general elections. Many questions asked about the security of this nation, the security or the safety of the political players, including the electorate who attend some of these rallies. The incidents in Homa Bay yesterday, making it to the front pages. The Standard a bit defiant, saying that the group was triumphant. Triumphant against who? Goons?
The government.
Battle for Raila staff, that's how they've put it on the front page of the Daily Nation. Same thing on Taifa Leo, Sifuna atikisa ngome ya Wanga. And on the Star, attempts by suspected goons to disrupt rally thwarted. I think it's only the People Daily that has hit the nail on the head, saying 2027, the violent rehassle, turning brother against brother. These are the situations we face 358 days to the next general election. Something needs to change. Thank you so much to my panelists this morning. Felicity Kirota Biriri, who's an aspirant for the Woman Rep seat in Meru County. Professor Fred Ogola, a co-director at Macmillan Medical. He's also a governance and economics expert. And political commentator Mesha Kodede. Thank you so much for your time at TV47 this morning. After the break, of course, you know it's Monday. Monday Blitz coming up. Arsenal, the new winners, at least they've lifted the silverware this early, even before the season kicks off. Community Shield winners, and Tujui Man City wanaenda happy. But anyway, Fred Arocho, Katela Macy will be here to discuss a lot more of that. Plus, we're also counting down to the beginning of the local football league as well as other leagues. So do stand by for that. On behalf of the entire team that was behind the earlier part of the TV47 breakfast, including Annie Odida, good morning.